Hi everyone, Gavin Townsend here on a cool Wednesday winter morning, and today I'm going to talk openly about the lifestyle that most people today in Western society are living, and especially around the whole sugar intake. When you look at the likes of sugar manufacturing, it's a business, so naturally, sugar organisations making lots of money from this want to put it into as much product as possible because then they can get to exploit the marketplace and basically make lots of this. And it's sad to see that there's so many people out there who are unwise or haven't took upon themselves to self-educate themselves about the excessive amounts of sugar which is in the food today, and identify with what it's actually in, what's healthy sugar and what's bad. So there's a lot of manufactured sugar out there, and from the likes of syrups and corn syrups and this, that, and the other. And if you look at foods now, I freak out when I go into supermarkets and service stations and petrol stations because it's just, I look at the packaging from a distance and I just think to myself, yep, that's overdosed with sugar, so is that, so is that. Then you get to the energy drinks aisle and you just think, right, I just need to walk past there because that's just like a heart attack in a can. And yeah, constantly, each and every day, people are bombarded by excessive amounts of sugar through food types. I'd probably say about in excess of half the foods out there have far too much sugar. And let's be honest, if you were a manufacturer of food and you were selling, say, 1/100th of your competitors' product, and you got the same product in terms of food source, but the main ingredient which is missing, which is the missing link to you increasing your sales, is sugar. Well, simply put, you're going to throw more sugar at it, and unfortunately, I feel it's not being regulated enough by the government. So the irony of it is, the government's happy for people to become more obese and more unhealthy, and we're getting more issues with diabetes, type 2, etc., as a result of people not understanding about food and nutrition, and yet naturally, there's no real tax on it. There's no government official really going for the jugular on sugar manufacturing and the exploitation of, well, you and I. Um, People are living more busy lifestyles now, so we're more busier than ever, and people's stress levels are higher than ever as well. So when you look at different different health issues today. So look at obesity, for instance. So the trends have pretty much done this in the UK over the last 20 years, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. In fact, I anticipate in the next 20 years, we're going to get more childhood obesity as much as adult obesity than most countries in the world. I wouldn't be surprised if we become one of the top three in terms of obesity trends. Because when you look at the culture of the UK now, we're becoming more lazier and less active. Um, Most people are now looking at, glued to their phones all the time, with uh, living a sedentary lifestyle. The irony of this subject as well, we've never had so much health and fitness awareness, and yet we've got more obesity levels than we ever have in history. So, at a point in history in 2016, in October 2016 in the UK, we've never had so much health and fitness awareness, yet we're also at the peaking point of our obesity levels as well. And I put it mainly down to poor nutrition and the overloading sugar in people's diets today. So, if you want some alternative tips on how to stabilize your sugar cravings, here's some simple tips. One is identify with low glycemic index foods, so carbohydrates which give you sustained energy. Look at complex carbohydrates. So here's a few options. You can look at the likes of couscous, the likes of brown pasta, brown rice, sweet potato, yams, new potatoes, and there's a whole host of other food options available as well. Also, identify with the digestion rate of foods as well. So, I'm always talking to individuals about the reason why I eat more actual protein to whey protein is only because of the digestion rate in which it takes to break down and utilize the food source. Also, If you do get cravings, identify with alternative snacks. So if you're getting a craving for sugar and you're used to going for the biscuit tray or the sugary chocolate at the canteen or the vending machine, take some fruit with you. That's more natural sugar, so you've got fructose in there. And also look at the likes of nuts and seeds as well. And another good tip is never go hungry. Never allow yourself to go hungry, because the moment you go hungry, your mind's trying to force yourself to find a quick sugar source. So that causes a yo-yo sort of lifestyle. So in other words, never miss a meal. Always bang on at clients about never missing a meal, and obviously ensuring that you have a decent breakfast, lunch and dinner, and perhaps some healthy snacks in between would help most people. And constantly I'm always hearing excuses from individuals. Didn't have time for breakfast today. I've skipped that meal there. I'm sorry guys, I can't cut it. I cannot tolerate any individual complaining that they didn't have time to eat. It's great, yes, putting your career first and putting whatever sort of priority in place first, but if you do not prioritize yourself and your health, you cannot look after your wealth. So that's another good tip there. So prioritize your food and offset hunger first and foremost. Try not to give in to temptation as well. So again, when you're at the supermarket, if you're getting that urge of sugar, it's really frustrating to see that all the supermarkets now, especially in the service stations at the counter, have no fruit at all. It's just like chocolate bar, chocolate bar, chocolate bar. So you look at it from a business perspective. Obviously, a lot of these supermarkets make high margins, more actually in fact on the likes of junk foods and sugary snacks than they do actual fruit. It's just a shame to see that, and it's easier to sell as well. I'm not a bull. I'm not a bull. I love chocolate. I love crisp, but one thing I do accept is that I have everything in moderation. So I'd say 95% of the time right now in my bulking season, as I put on more weight throughout the winter period, before I cut down in the new year, I'm making sure that I'm just eating more, but of the right stuff. And yes, I can treat myself, but it's just about moderation. And that's another missing link for a lot of people, is just understanding what moderation is. So perhaps be a bit more restrictive on eating more high sugar foods in the week, and be a bit more relaxed at the weekend perhaps. Also try to be a bit more organised as well in your approach. So as an example, for the next day you might decide to prep all your foods at the evening time. So you're a bit more organised for the next day, rather than having to have that quick fix sugar dosed sandwich the next day. So there's some various tips. I've gone on about this subject for quite some time. It's a subject that I talk to all my clients openly about, and I do feel that the UK today is going to get worse before it's going to get better. And again, it's very ironic that we've never had so much health and fitness awareness, yet as a nation we're becoming more obese. And like I say, when you look at the likes of sugars and packaging today especially, you'd have a shock if you were more educated in many cases. I'm very blunt, straight to the point, but this subject is quite a powerful subject, and the point of this video is just to make you think. If you've got any questions, comment on the video below. Feel free to follow me on social media as well, and I've got plans to do more videos like this on subjects that are important to the masses. Have a great day.